Ignite is an ongoing series of speedy presentations. Each speaker gets only 5 minutes and 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds.
Hi, my name is Julia Grace. My talk today is, are you really as cool as you seem on Facebook? Can accurate me-centric data visualization keep us honest? So I'm a computer scientist by trade, but what I've always been really fascinated in is how people present themselves in social spheres and also how people perceive other people in social spheres. So usually when I give talks like this, I'll stand up and I'll have a few long slides about this is who I am and this is where I work and this is why any of you should care about anything that I'm saying right now. Especially since my first slide seems to be taking 400 years to advance, and there we go. So as I was saying, I usually get up here and I talk for a long time about who I am, blah, blah, blah. But what's interesting, I think, about this is the fact that what I'm telling you and everything that I'm showing you, well, I'm fitting myself into a little box, and a box that's really, really biased. Because, in all honesty, anything that I could be telling you could be true or false, but at the end of the day, I think that my nephew is the cutest nephew on earth. I think my dog is the smartest dog that has ever been seen. There was a fantastic paper written in 1999 called Unskilled and Unaware, and the takeaway message from that paper is that people have very overly favorable views of their abilities in social and academic spheres. The bottom line is that we really like ourselves, and we want other people to like us too. This is a documented psychological phenomenon. It's also called the above average effect. People who are average often feel that they're above average. I use this photo because I thought that I had above average pumpkin carving skills. And I carved the Kool-Aid Man into my into my pumpkin, and then in retrospect I felt like I had average pumpkin carving skills. So to wrap it back into what we were talking about, so Facebook has given us this amazing way where we can document every single little thing that we do, and we can tell people how unbelievably awesome that we are all of the time. And now the question I pose to you is that really a good thing? If you want to get to know me, do we really become friends on Facebook? What will that tell you? Maybe there's a better way to do this. So I propose me-centric data visualization. I'm not talking about life logging where we write everything down, but rather let's look at all the data that we have around us. Now, data viz, people immediately think, oh, huge scale data. What if San Francisco crime were elevation? This is a fantastic visualization that recently came out. This shows the areas in San Francisco where prostitution is particularly prevalent. Now, this is using a large corpus of public data. Here, another example is the photos that locals take versus the photos that tourists take. The takeaway from this is if you live in San Francisco, all you photograph is the Mission. If you're a tourist, all you photograph is Alcatraz and Pier 39. Now, this is a little bit more of what I'm trying to get across here. This is a data visualization of a computer room. All of the cool little tentacles that it has, those are system calls. So what you're looking at here is a picture of what an actual, quote-unquote, organism does. So I want to paint a picture of what we as individual organisms do. This is what I call me-centric visualization. So the thought is we've all got iPhones or smartphones or whatever, Android phones, blah, blah, blah phones that you've got. And every day you're taking in little pieces of information. You're taking photos. I personally take a lot of photos of what I eat. I take a lot of photos of what I want to buy. I tweet on the phone. I SMS. And you could use cute little visualizations such as this. This is widely available on the web. And you can see all of your most recent Twitter followers. And this is nice. It'll give you a good overview of who you're talking to. I personally think that web browser history is really fascinating. I'm one of those people who uses 5 web browsers at once with thousands of tabs open, and then the browser crashes, and my friends are like, what are you doing? So I think that using cool... On to our next slide. So now... But the thought here is that if you're doing me-centric visualization, it's not for public consumption. It's for you to gain a better understanding of what you've got going on in your life, and maybe for you to share with others that you might be maybe involved with as friends or partners or whatnot. So this is your own personal mashup of your own data, and that's, I think, very key here. I also use these terms to avoid any sort of privacy concerns, because the thought is you're doing something for yourself to be more self-reflective. So I plugged my iPhone into my computer the other day, as I frequently do, and it told me as a lot of us have these phones with GPS devices in them, that I've taken 516 photos over the in 266 locations over the 2 years that I've had this phone. Now, I thought that was really cool, and then I tried to load it into Google Earth, and I had massive visualization fail. As you can see, this is kind of an unusual database, but I thought it was going in the right direction, and I'm also saying this might be subject to my own personal user error. So the thought here now, I also was like, oh, maybe we could mash this really cool geo data up with music information. Well, so I looked into iTunes, and I had all these songs, but it was kind of problematic, so we need a better API here. And then finally, what I'm going to show you is the fact that I used Shazam, and over the past 2 years on Shazam, I've tagged 187 songs. So what if I could take all of those photos and all of the tweets and then all of the songs that all have date, time, geolocation and mash them all together in some massively cool visualization about who I am? And I think that would be super cool. So that's what I'm working on now. In summary, we love ourselves, but our data our data doesn't lie too much about us, so maybe we can capitalize on these things to create me-centric data visualizations about ourselves. I'd love to talk more about this. I think it's super fascinating. I think there's other applications of this in other data areas. And finally, thank you very much. It's my last slide.